Okay.
Hi, April.
Oh, hello, sweetie. Oh, my heart. She's so gorgeous.
She's so cute.
Thanks, guys.
I bet
Hi, everybody.
Hi, Laura.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi, everyone. I love getting together in this group. It's so fun.
This group
All right.
is so warm and fun. I love you guys.
Yeah. All right. So if anybody has a noisy background or whatever, why don't you go ahead and put yourself on mute. I'll just kick it off. This is April Cox, for those of you that don't know me already. I know we've got a couple of people dropping in and some new folks that asked to see this video when it was done, so they'll be watching on replay. But welcome to Self-Publishing Made Simple. We have a special guest speaker today, Leigha Huggins, and she has is going to focus on the topic of crowdfunding and her own experiences as a new author doing this for the first time. We are very grateful to have you, Leigha. Thank you so much. And I'm looking forward to having you share your story. And I'm going to just make you a co-presenter in case you want to share your campaign and whatever it is that helped you move forward. The floor is yours, my dear.
Hear me?
Oh, there you go. Now we got you.
Hello.
Welcome. I'm so happy for you.
Thank you. I'm so happy. I mean, to be 100% honest, I worked so hard, but I had no idea I was going to have the success I had. You know, I was kind of laughing with Lisa because I almost didn't do my crowdfunding campaign. And I was kind of going back and forth. I don't know if you remember this too, April, where I was like, oh, I think I'm just going to do like a paperback. I don't think I'm going to launch it. I'm just super nervous about moving forward. And then I, you know, the next week would say, nope, I'm going to do it. I've put in so much work. Oh, cool, baby. Awesome. And then, you know, I finally got a hold of Lisa and I was like, Lisa, I am like the biggest pancake. I am flip-flopping like all the time. I just need somebody to tell me to get off the frying pan or I'm just going to be here forever. So anyways, I'm super excited. And Lisa really did kind of push me past my uncomfortable. You know, I think whenever you're doing anything for the first time, you get nervous or, you know, you just feel like, can I do this? Like, am I going to be well received? It's intimidating putting your creative offerings out there, regardless of what you have. And at the end of the day, I felt like any work that I would do towards my campaign was still work I was going to do outside of my campaign. This was just a really great way to launch in front of a group of people. And so I don't know, Lisa kind of pushed me outside of my comfort and was like, you know what, just do it, just go. So anyways, that's the story of how I kind of got started. And then I put together, and guys, I'm so sorry. I feel like, you know, April's so great at having all this organized information.
This is a very informal topic. I don't feel like you have to have slides or anything like that, but I would love it if you wanted to share your campaign, maybe walk us through some of the things that you put together. And while you're finding that, I will just give a little bit of a background. So crowdfunding, some of you may not be familiar with that term, although it's getting much more popularity around children's books. And really what it is, Kickstarter or Indiegogo, they are platforms where if you are an inventor or you're producing a film or a children's book, something of value, and you need help with funding, you are able to create a campaign and then launch that campaign, and people are essentially pre-ordering, or you know, they're becoming a backer, and they're believing in you, they're sharing, you know, you get access to these individuals who are helping to back you and fund you as you go. And I'll let Leigha kind of go through her campaign here and some of the ins and outs of, what it takes to have a successful campaign. Leigha did all of those things that are the must-haves with Lisa Furland and her tool set. Did you also take her course as well?
I did not. I bought her, I don't even know what it's called. I think it's called like the Volt package.
Yep.
And so it's essentially kind of like an organization tool to get started with Kickstarter. So she gives you templates and platforms to use, like a calculator as far as, like what things you want to track, shipping. I just felt super clueless, so I felt like I needed some kind of motivation. And then she does a lot of free courses. And then she has something called like an all-in authors group. And Sarah just joined us, but we meet like once a week, and it's just a bunch of authors kind of like sharing what we're doing. We all give advice or helpful tips or give perspectives or opinions. And then I did pay for a one-on-one coaching before I went live. So I essentially did all the groundwork, all my homework, and then before I launched, I got her expert opinion, and she did have me change some stuff and go back.
Nice.
So,
and I'm looking at your goal was set at 4,747.
yes.
And you blew that right out of the water.
I know.
Wow.
I'm so excited. And I think like part of me is just so tickled pink because I am literally going to produce the most beautiful book that I wouldn't have been able to do without this. So I'm printing in the USA. I'm doing a fabric cover with like I think they have to kind of emboss a circle and then do a special lamination process to get the image on the book. And then I'm going to do foil stamping. And then I think I have like 30 or 40 people that are actually doing like a foil embossed name on the back to dedicate to their little people.
Wow.
So it's just special. It's so cool that I was able to do this and have it all come together for my first book. I just am, I think we all write for a different purpose, but it's like, regardless of who you're writing for, your family and your people, this is a keepsake for them. Regardless if you only sell 100 books, like this is something that your people get to have forever. And so I'm just tickled pink to, put a beautiful product in the hands of my backers and in the hands of my kiddos. So, so on this Kickstarter, guys, the nice thing about this, you can set this up way ahead of time. So I actually had most of this ready to go like late November of last year. And then as I got motivated or felt like I had different information to add, I would come and update it. So it's kind of like a work in progress, but I didn't wait till the last minute. I really did work really hard on this. And you can go to Kickstarter and set up a campaign at any time, and you don't have to go live right away. So if you wanted to even play with it and kind of see what it would look like, what's your story, how would you appeal to people? I did a lot of research and looked at other campaigns and kind of figured out what I was drawn to, what I liked, what I didn't like. And then I asked people for advice. April, you were even huge in like, oh, I'm on the wrong computer. I initially was going to put a different image up here because I loved, let me show you this. Like, this is just, it's like my heart. Like, this image speaks to me so much. And April was like, Leigha, this is going to be people's first impression of your book. You want it to be soft and delicate. And, it's like all these people have great ideas because they're not connected to your project. And so I think it's really important to listen to what people say because they don't know all the backstory. They don't know all the reasons that you would decide on something. And you really do have such a short attention span of the people that are coming to your page to capture them. So I think this was brilliant advice by you, April.
Yeah, and I think the biggest, they say most of the people that are doing this, that are viewing your page, are typically only go down to the video and they watch only a certain number of seconds, or less than a minute, and that's when they decide, are they going to hang out and watch the rest, or are they just exiting out? So that first like 30 seconds, 45 seconds is critical, and the video is critical for sure.
Yeah, and guys, being on video is so uncomfortable. Like it's not fun for anybody unless you're, I don't know, a special person. But I redid my videos so many times because I got other opinions, and people were like, I don't know, Leigha, I think you should do this and this, and I just went back because as awkward as it is, I really feel like my video helped me. I think if you're not willing to get in front of and make a connection with somebody and get in front of people and let them know like why your book is special, why you're bringing it to them, why they should back it. You could be fun, you could be silly, you can be relatable. I mean, you can be anything that speaks to you or your book, but I feel like making a presence and making a video is essential to the success. And I really did notice that on all the campaigns I really liked, people had a video. They had a piece that you connected with them besides just the images.
Yeah.
So I don't have to play my video, but you guys are welcome to go check it out if you want, or do you want me to play it? I don't know. It's up to you.
Yes.
Yeah. You do?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, it doesn't play. What did I do? Hold on. Maybe because it's not live anymore. Hold on. Let me go to my in demand and I'll play it on there.
Okay. I can't hear the voice. Do you want me to try to play it for you?
Yeah, can you?
Sure.
Do I need to stop share?
It's working on the Kickstarter for me. Like I just tried it on my iPad to see if it worked, even though it's not live. So, yeah,
Okay.
if April can find it either on the Kickstarter or Indiegogo.
Yeah, let me do that. Oops.
It's probably because I'm working off 2 different computers. So
Yeah, that is probably the issue. So let me go ahead and pull it up on mine. I'll share the screen. Go to Kickstarter. And if you're looking to do some research, really just go to kickstarter.com and you can search here for just the word children's books, and you will see that there's a lot of children's books there. You can back them, and even just with $1, you'll receive all of the progress reports along the way. You'll get to follow their journey, and you learn a lot that way. So let me see this one here, in demand. So do I go on in demand? Is that what you were saying?
yeah, I have my video on there. I don't know if it's not showing. I don't know why it's not showing on Kickstarter anymore. Maybe because my project's not live.
Yeah, that's so weird because it works on for me, but I'm on an app and not a.
This
Yeah,
is Indiegogo.
Yeah, so that's my in demand. They actually invited me to go on there to capture pre-orders after my campaign if I didn't have anything else set up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So that's
Just
not it.
No, you're fine. You can press the play button on the in demand and it
Oh,
will show
okay.
the video.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So, and I'm gonna just turn this up some.
And
shelf. Hi everyone, my name is Melanie Darling, and I am the illustrator to Leigha Huggins' book, The Love Letter.
It starts with wishing and it ends with thanking, and I think that's such a beautiful concept and a beautiful reminder of us to start our days and end our nights. Melanie did such an amazing job.
I want to say how grateful I am in this journey of being able to illustrate the imagination of Leah's wonderful mind.
It's true feeling, it's true emotion, it's true creativity. It's really celebrates our beautiful child and how grateful we are that they're in our world and how connected to them that we feel. And I think that you really do grasp that concept on every page as you turn it. And it also is really inclusive. It doesn't leave out anybody regardless of the circumstance of how these beautiful little people were placed into our world.
I'm grateful for this book. It's touched my life. It's changed my life. For me and Leah, we both have agreed that it was our therapy to get through some hard times. Being moms, we've gone through a lot, and we have a lot of love to give as well. And it's kind of a representation that we put of that into this book.
That's right. In the world, there's things that go wrong, and there's pain, and there's hurt, and there's sad. I think that all of us can relate to on some level. And this book kind of captures the love over the pain. This love lottery has been a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful book to work on. And I just can't wait for people to read it. And thank you for being here. Thank you for being part of this journey. And thank you so much for your support. It means the world to us. Thank you so much.
And grateful for all you guys and everything you guys do.
I love that you showed your personality there, Leah.
We're such big words.
I love how you injected humor. And I mean, at one point, my eyes were starting to water. So you definitely got the emotion into it. So, wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, but it's awkward. Like, just to let you guys all know, that didn't feel comfortable. Look at that little baby jumping around, Laura. Oh, but anyways, just, I feel like any time to be, successful, you have to push beyond your comfort. And if you can't do it, find someone who's going to push you. Find a mentor, ask April, ask a friend, like, just have somebody hold you accountable. I had people look at my video and I really did change it. Like, I think I did 4 different takes. So, and I did all that on, I mean, it's not the best video splicing ever in the world, but I did all that myself as well. So I used, hold on. You know what I'll do? If you guys are interested, I can probably compile a list of like the stuff that I used, if that
would be great.
Yes, please.
That would be wonderful.
Oh,
yes.
Yeah, my video stuff, and then I'll just post it to the group. And then I also, now keep in mind, I'm a super busy mom and I have a very creative, wild mind. So I tried to compile as much information that kind of came to me that really I felt helped my Kickstarter journey. So it kind of jumps all over the place, but I would love to share this with you, and then I can always add this to the group too if anybody wanted to look over
Yeah, thank you. I stopped my share, so you can go ahead in and jump and share your desktop if you'd like.
Let's see. I may. I don't know what I did. I might have to join again with my computer. I think I may be canceled out. I'm so sorry.
That's okay.
Okay. Share.
Or if you want to email it to me, that's fine as well. And I can share it for you.
Okay, can you see it or no? It says I'm sharing.
Okay, hold on here. Oh yeah, I see it. You're viewing Leah's screen, but we're only seeing Zoom. Whatever window you're sharing, Leah, is the same one that you've got Zoom open in.
Okay, let me try again.
Yeah, so you might have to stop your share and then share the window that has that document in it.
All right, so here I just put, what is Kickstarter? Why choose this path? We all know writing a book is so-called the easy part, 4 editors later and over 60 iterations. But on top of creating a concept, story, teasers, engagement, excitement, and all the things associated to early marketing stages of your book, you have to create an audience. And when I first started researching all this, I kind of was like, well, what does that mean? And you really do kind of have to start from ground zero. I did a Facebook page, I did a Twitter, I did Pinterest, I did Instagram, and not all of them are done amazing, but I really did kind of just put feelers out all the time and just tried to create engagement as much as I can, and I think that really did help me. I tried to use the platforms to their advantage as well. So I kind of put like a little piece in here somewhere, but essentially on LinkedIn, if you go to LinkedIn, you can see who's posting. And the people that are posting are the people I reached out to because I knew that they were using that platform for themselves and it wasn't going to be wasted effort. Where you can send messages to so many people that are on these platforms, but if they don't use them or they don't check them, it's just kind of wasted time. So I just made sure that whatever platform I was using, it was with people that were engaging currently on those platforms, if that makes sense.
Right. How long, Leah, would you say it took you to build your following between when you started and you created your first Facebook page for your author journey until launching the Kickstarter?
Probably a year. I mean, I think you start with the network you have and you kind of get comfortable just pitching it to them. Like let people know that you're an author and what you're working on. I shared with the group, and I forgot what it's called. Is it Authors 2020? What's your group name again, April?
Oh, Self-Publishing Made Simple. Oh, the author work group.
Yeah, so on there, I posted to put your little signature with like a picture, author Leigha Huggins of the Love Lottery, launching soon. I mean, you guys can't expect people know what you're doing. You kind of have to let everybody know. And I feel like if you communicate via email, make it part of your signature. It's a very, easy way to let people know what you're working on without it being in their face or being obnoxious or salesy. It's just a way to communicate with people. So any chance you get to let people know what you're working on, do it. I mean, I went to networking events, and I know it's like a different world now, but I went to local networking events with women and, just shared what I was working on. And I had people that were pre-ordering from me, early on. And I just compiled a list. Anybody that said, oh my gosh, I want your book, let me know when it's available. I would add them to a list. And those are the people I reached out to first. And I really think that's why I made my goal the first day, is because I didn't waste my time trying to build relationships or reach out to influencers. The day I launched, I let all the people know that already wanted to buy my book that it was available.
Right.
So, and then, once you get success, You know, it's kind of like the monkey see, monkey do. It's a lot easier for people to say, oh, well, 100 other people wanted this book. I probably do too. So I think your hardest work really comes from getting those first 100 people, you know, those first people to say that they do want your book.
Mm-hmm. And
All
Leigha,
right.
Leigha, they're asking, there's a couple of questions about contact information for your illustrator.
Okay. I'll post that too.
Okay, great.
So I'll give you all the information I used, and if there's any questions, April, just let me know, and then I'll compile a list and put it on there. But I'm happy to share. Now, this was Melanie's first book.
Mm-hmm.
It was both of our first book. And I do feel like it worked to my advantage as well. I mean, everybody has such a different platform of what's going to work for them, but Melanie was so excited that this was her first book that she was presenting it to everybody. And so some of my sales came from her network of people. Mm-hmm. And, you know, that helped. You know, it always helps when you have more of just your voice sharing the message.
Right.
All right. So I put in here that you're going to be sending out a lot of information, and I literally sent a message to each person, email, text message, Facebook, but no group. I did not do a group message with anybody because I feel like it's so easy to just ignore a group text message because you don't feel like it's personalized. So even if they are interested in what you have to offer, some people are just too busy. And if you don't make the time to make them feel important or like they want to read your message, they probably won't. So I think that was a huge advantage too, is I did not do any group text, any group messages. I did all individual connection.
Yeah. So you were not afraid to reach out and talk to people, get them interested, share your story, and you made a point of doing that early on and then again before your campaign went live?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and then, you know, in here I put a little thing like 30 eyes are better than 2. You know, let people help you, ask for input, you know, apply what you agree with. You know, you don't have to apply everything. It's still your book. It's still your creation. But there's a lot of really, you know, willing people to give you information that I feel like can kind of help you along this journey. You know, I put in here too, it took me 3 editors before I finally let go of some of my holdbacks. So, you know, I feel like if you're willing to change, sometimes it really is for the better, even though it is so hard to break up, especially with some of your words. And then with that being said, my Kickstarter campaign, like I said, I built that, you know, months ago, but I also let people look over that. I got opinions and, you know, what was interesting, what was kind of boring, what should I leave out? And I had this super cute story that I loved. And it was about, you know, part of the motivation of Love Lottery. And I have this cute little mouse story. And I ended up leaving it out because people said it was just too wordy. It was too long. It didn't really bring to the story. And it made me sad because I loved it. But I think it ended up being fine that I left it out. Let's see. So here I just put a little thing that I was lurking in the background for a super long time. You know, when I first started this group, I learned about April long before I even reached out to her. And, you know, I kind of just took a list and, you know, I listened to people's questions and I really didn't engage a lot until I kind of felt like I had a sense of understanding of so much of this. And, you know, guys, there are so many free courses and so many people willing to teach you for a great value. I really feel like I kind of got my master's degree on Facebook, you know, through all this. Through Jay's group alone has given me such amazing connections to pretty much everybody that's launched me on this journey.
I agree.
Yeah, it's been incredible. I started writing articles. I feel like when you are going to start introducing your project to people, people don't want to hear the same story. I feel like you kind of have to make it interesting or engaging. If you didn't capture someone the first time, how are you going to capture them the second time? So like, example for you, Sarah, I feel like you should be writing articles about, dogs and having a service dog, and, where do you get a service dog, or just any articles you can think of that kind of tie into your book. Because I think if you focus on just one person at a time, it makes a really big difference when that book goes live. So maybe you only write an article for one person, but I feel like every message is helpful, and then it kind of gives you stuff to pull from later.
So, quick question. So I know that you like posted like article type things like on a blog and like on your Kickstarter. What did you like do articles for other blogs before your launch? Was that is that kind of how you approached that, Leigha, to get a further audience, or did you more just focus it on your own platform?
Yeah, so and I don't have a ton. Let me see if I can pull it up really quick. City Lifestyles. And guys, this is free. If anybody's interested in doing this, they pretty much just look for people that have a positive message to share. And then they even have, I think it's like every Tuesday and Friday, they have calls that kind of teach you how to network and reach beyond your current network. So I just learn from everything that I do, but I started doing, little random articles for them, not even necessarily just about me. This is about, people that I know, that I included their information. But if you go to citylifestyles.com, you can set up your whole entire page. You just have to be approved, and then you can write articles for them and then share it.
Very cool.
So, I mean, you could do anything, feed your soul. I did, this was just fun. Where's my other one here? Where did it go? Oh, this one here. So this was just goofy. I was up one night, I think I had like 2 glasses of wine, and I was feeling silly, and I wrote this like funny little like, oh my God, Becky, look at her blog, just, it had nothing to do with me, but I was just having a blast. And then I tied in Oliver West, It's Time to Get Dressed book from one of our groups, and did, like a little link for it. So I'm always trying to, be creative and help other people, whether they even know it or not. I try to put things together, but I really do feel like every day I try to do something for myself and something for someone else, whether they know about it or not. And I feel like it really does, it helps. It just helps get out of your own funk, out of your own head. And I love helping people. So anyways, this was all new to me, and I did all this just to kind of help spread my word. And then when I shared this with people, it wasn't just sharing my book. It wasn't the same message over and over again. It was just like, hey guys, if you want to laugh, look at this, or I don't know, it just broke it up a little bit.
Yeah, that's really cool. That makes sense. So you're not just like bombarding people with the same message over and over again.
Yeah, because I do feel like people will tune you out, if you keep on, hey.
Yeah, absolutely.
They're like, I don't know. If you don't have anything new, I don't want to listen to it.
Yeah, absolutely.
let's see. So here I put, you know, time is precious. There were several copy and paste moments. And, you know, I still tried to be real in the moment. I actually sent a man a message that said, "Hey, sweet lady." And then I immediately wrote like, "Oh, haha, you can't tell at all that I copy and pasted that. I didn't mean to call you a lady," you know, and he ended up turning into a sale for me. Like, just because, you know, even if you make a mistake, I feel like if you're still real about it, people can relate to that. Let's see. So I put some other examples on this page too. I think I even have you on there too, Miss Sarah, just saying, you know, if you guys are familiar with some of these authors, it's because they're already doing exactly what you guys should be. You know, they put little teasers out there, they ask for input, they help when they can, and then you just get more familiar with their product and their project. And then when it's ready for them to launch, you feel like whether or not you've engaged with them like on a one-on-one, you already feel connected to their project because you've watched it come to life. So even if you're super new, you know, you don't have to have this beautiful, you know, front cover. You can just, you know, put your title name out there, even if you're deciding between two titles, you know. And I think, Laura, you're doing a great job asking, you know, the group, you're starting to kind of put feelers out there. How would you introduce your character? How would you do this? And I feel like that's exactly what everybody should be doing. You just do a little bit at a time, and then people just become familiar over time until you can produce something that's like a really beautiful finished result. One thing that really helped me once I launched on Kickstarter is I actually reached out to current campaigns. So if somebody had a campaign going that I liked their project, you know, we would reach out to each other. I had people reach out to me and I'd reach out to them saying, you know, I would love your support, you know, on my next update. I would love to put a link, and I would love if you did the same for me. And I got some sales doing that. It was really helpful to have other campaigns kind of help boost your Kickstarter. These people who are currently on Kickstarter now did such a great job. I actually backed their product. So like what April was saying, even if you just do $1, you get to see their updates, you get to see what they're doing right. I mean, it's really helpful to kind of see what other people are doing. But they sent out a survey right after you backed saying, you know, thank you so much for your support. We would love for you to share. Please fill out this survey. And I mean, I think my campaign had like 8 hours left when I backed them, but I was like, oh, that was such a good idea. So now it's just a good idea for you guys. But there's so many people that just do it right. I was given advice by a game expert who has ran several successful Kickstarter projects. And I don't know, did I put it on here? I think I did. Anyways, I'll double check that I have all of his advice on here when I send it out to you guys. But one thing that really resonated with me is he said a lot of people do early bird incentives, but he really kind of advised against it. He said it does the opposite. You know, all those early bird people that are coming to your product page are the people that you've probably already like put the work in and they know that you launched. And so if somebody comes after your early bird specials have ended, they might say, oh man, I already missed the best deal, and then they don't back it. So I ended up like just keeping my $17, like my $17 package throughout the whole journey. And I didn't give anybody any additional deals for being the first day backer. So you guys can do whatever you want, but I really feel like that helped me, and it helped my like end of the campaign, in the middle of the campaign, when things kind of slowed down, just because nobody felt like they missed out on anything. So I was really glad that I listened to that advice from him. And I'll make sure that I copy and paste his stuff. This here, I don't know if you guys, if anybody saw it, but I did like this little silly story based off of the old lady who swallowed the fly. There was a sweet lady who wrote a book. I don't know why she wrote a book, but perhaps she'll look. But I posted this in like so many different author groups, and just, you know, it was really just to have fun, but I still got engagement, and I would go ahead and put my link at the bottom if people wanted to check out my Kickstarter. So I think any way that you can be creative and just kind of have fun with it, do it. But always, always, always put your link. If you make it hard for people to follow you, they won't. And so this also goes to building an audience. If you put something, go ahead and put your Instagram link, not just your handle. Don't say like @lovelotterybook. You want to put your actual link so they can just click on it and go directly to your page. Because if you make it harder for them, they just won't do it. So anything to make people easier to follow you, I mean, you do the work to get the, you know, the people to come on your page and like your Facebook and all that good stuff. If you do launch, you will get spammed a bunch. So there's so many people that offer you things after you launch. And I did try, I think I paid like one $50 and one $25 thing, and it was a waste, guys. I was kind of bummed that I did it. So, I mean, you guys do your own homework, but I would completely say keep your money and don't do it. I think it was just me being a first timer, and I'm like, hey, if it would help, maybe I should just do it. And I don't know. It's like all these crowdfunding places that say that they'll tweet your, you know, account for so many times. That's not what gets you sales. You know, people don't just see something, especially a book, and just want to buy it. It really is that connection or why they should buy it. And it comes from you, not somebody that's just going to post something. So as far as people sharing though, like I had a lot of my friends and my family and, you know, my author network share my message, and I asked them to, you know, please share this. And I think when people say something like, you know, this is an author friend, or this is my high school friend, this is my neighbor, she wrote this darling book, I'm so excited for it, and then they post it, like you're getting somebody else to give you credibility, which is way better than like a third party that you're going to pay for. So that is huge. Even if, you know, you offer them a free magnet or something for a share, that's going to be way worth your time than paying these nonsense companies.
Yeah, and I would say don't forget to ask, because sometimes people will just post something about, oh, yay, my book is out. And if you ask, if you say, please share, please help me out with this, and, you know, and be your authentic self. But since you've been there for so many others, there, of course, people are going to share. But if you don't ask, sometimes they won't even think to do it. You know, it's not that they wouldn't, but so don't be afraid to ask, and don't be afraid to share others, and make sure that you also spread the love. They're looking to get that same kind of exposure as well.
Exactly. No, I completely agree with that. And then this kick booster, Lisa had given me a heads up about this, and I don't know, I'm kind of on the fence. It really didn't give me a lot of sales and traffic, and you can actually see where a lot of your traffic comes from if you set up all your Google Analytics and everything. But I feel like Kick Booster is perfect if you have people that you're going to reach out to, like if you have influencers, because you can kind of give them something for sharing your campaign. And I didn't do all the necessary work ahead of time, so I don't feel like I use this to my advantage, but I think it is a good idea. So, you know, kind of play with that. But I think Kick Booster is awesome to let people know to share your campaign and get a little bit of a kickback back. You just have to do more footwork than what I went into.
We have a few questions here. Do you mind if I just jump in with that?
Yeah.
So you mentioned a survey. Jasmine wonders, what did the survey say? Like, what was the...
Oh yeah, from this Protectors of the Rainbow. I think they asked, I don't even remember. I feel like I'd make it up. I think my biggest thing that I really loved about them is they asked for your email, which is a wonderful way to just engage. And then they asked you to share the message to get to their goals. So like the survey was just kind of a way in to do that share at the end. I don't even remember the questions they asked, but they're still on. If you even paid $1, they'd send it to you. The Protectors of the Rainbow, and I just felt like they did such a good job. So if you guys go to Kickstarter and even just do $1 on theirs, they'll send you all the information. And then I did also, I don't think I put it in here. Let me put a note here. I ran 2 King Sumos, and King Sumo is like a giveaway during my campaign. And I felt like that was such a great way to get engagement and shares. It cost me nothing to use except for obviously what I was giving away. And it's another one of those fun, creative things to have people share. And it's not just about your book, it's about, you know, the fun thing associated with it. So I had done like a book, a pillow, and a panda package. And then my other one that I did was a drawing from Melanie, my illustrator, for like your own little love lotteries based off the characters of the book. So I would completely recommend King Sumo to get some extra attention. I felt like that was really, really great for me.
Good.
And then April, did you say you had some more questions?
Yeah. So Terry Casey wants to know, did you create a landing page that helped advertise things? Maybe Terry, maybe you can clarify what you mean by that.
I do have a website.
Yeah, that was another question. Did you have a website to link to Kickstarter, to link your Kickstarter audience to?
Mm-hmm.
So this is Terry. I unmuted myself now.
Okay.
So I just know that I'm working on a book for adults, and it's been recommended that I have a landing page that you drive people to, where they can get information about the book, and they can actually place a pre-order for the book. And I didn't know if you might have a website or a landing page, which is just kind of, I think, a somewhat dead website. There's no depth behind a landing page.
Mm-hmm.
I actually used MailerLite before I set up my website to collect email addresses. And so essentially I just said, if you're interested or you want to follow this journey, make sure you sign up, you know, kind of to that like newsletter. But you can use MailerLite essentially like a landing page. And it's free if you have under 1,000 subscribers. Once you reach that 1,000 marker, which is amazing, then you have to pay for it. But yeah, this is my website, and I just, you know, it's kind of that old saying, fake it till you make it. I feel like if you put information out there and people are like, oh, let me research, you know, the love lottery, the more professional you look, like it's a, you know, real book and it's coming to life, I feel like the better opportunity you have to capture those sales. So this is my Wix website, and you can set up Wix too for free. I think I paid for my domain names, but I think if you use like blah, 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 wix.com, I think you can actually do free landing pages with them too.
Yes. Mm-hmm. And if you're interested in learning more about Wix and creating a simple website, that's going to be next week's topic. And I'm going to actually look for a couple of guinea pigs who want me to use them as an example, and we'll do it on the fly.
Yeah, and April was one that even told me I should start blogging and showed me how simple it was for Wix to just set up a blog. So I went ahead and, I mean, not that I have a lot, I have 4, but I mean, any views, right? Like 38 views, 29 views, it's all better than none. You know, I feel like don't get hung up on, you know, numbers. It's like, even if you get 10 followers on Facebook, guys, that's 10 people that want to know about your book. You know, they want to know about your message, and it's still, you know, each person is worth celebrating. So
yeah. The other thing about blogs too, and this is Wix makes it really easy, but you can share that article on Facebook, you can share it on Instagram, you can create a pin for it and drive traffic to this article. So you basically can repost to any area, and LinkedIn as well. So you can, you know, by creating one nicely written blog post, it can also be multi-purpose in a lot of different ways.
I also, and I don't know how busy MJ is now, April.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I had sent some people and he said he was pretty busy, not taking more, but
Yeah.
I paid him a consultation service, and he kind of pushed me to do, you know, some of these little taglines. Like, he really helped me with my message.
Yes.
I tend to be a little bit softer, not, you know, in your face, like an award winning, you know what I mean? Like, I wouldn't have come up with that, but he pushed me and he was like, you really want to like yell it out and let people know what it's about, or finally a book about blah, blah, blah. Like, he kind of gave me all these little marketing nuggets that really, really helped me, because this is not my natural way of speaking or putting it together.
Right.
So, so I don't know if he's taking more people, but he was super helpful to me.
Yeah, having that marketing message is really helpful. And I think basically the reason why he's not taking anybody else is because I'm keeping him so busy myself for the same kind of purpose with my website. And he's also a business coach, and he's helping me through creating some coursework and other things. So, but on the positive note, I have been interviewing a number of additional resources for my own business and for other authors like yourselves. So I feel like I need a personal assistant, what they call a virtual assistant. I've also got graphic designers, web developers, and marketing people that I'm interviewing and pulling, you know, so I'm going to have a ton of interviews over this week, the end of this week, as well as early next week and over the weekend. And I'm going to start creating a list of resources that are really reasonably priced that I can use for myself, but also so that some of you authors that have the same needs can take advantage of all the work I've done to kind of vet some of these people for yourself. So if you're interested, just drop me a note and let me know.
Yeah, that's one thing that's so helpful about you, April, is you do have such a good network of people. I mean, some of these people that I've found were just, you know, from you sharing this with me or sharing your wisdom. So, you know, you were super helpful in my Kickstarter campaign as well, even though that wasn't necessarily your forte. It's like you have such good information and people that connect you to be good at these other things.
Thanks.
Yeah. And so let's see. I'm sorry, guys. I told you I was really unorganized. I'm just jumping around. So I'm so sorry.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
So I see on your Kickstarter and other Kickstarters that if you pledge a certain amount of money, you get certain products or items.
Yeah.
How do you decide how many, which product? I know it has to do with money and how much people charge you to make that product so that you're able to provide that product for your backers. but how do you decide, like, if you do the $17, you get this, this, this. If you do $50, you get this, this, this. How did you decide which products go with which pledge?
So, it's kind of tricky. I actually had a little bit higher prices. I lowered all of them because of the tricky situation we are in the world right now. I knew that, the dollar means more now than it has in a long time, just because there's so much uncertainty. There's people that, are unemployed, and I just wanted to be sensitive to that. So I ended up doing, rather than like a $20 or $25 book, which a $20 and $25 is usually the number one pledge amount. So if you have something that's just like for $50, you're going to miss a lot of opportunity because you're just going to price people out. So I wanted to give a really good value. And also, so my background is retail. I worked in the furniture world for a super long time and worked for American Furniture. And Jake Jabs is this incredible businessman. And he always had this thing that he'd say. He'd say, sell more furniture for less and make more money. And I kind of had, his mentality in the back of my head because I worked for him for so long. But I was like, I feel like I'm going to be able to share more of my books if I give a value rather than just try to kind of make a penny. Because I feel like, and this is my personal opinion about this, but to me, Kickstarter is just about sharing my message. It's about the groundwork of, now I'm going to put my book into the hands of 305 people who will hopefully love it, see the value, and then they'll share it with their network. So to me, it wasn't just about capturing that money and that like one-time purchase. It was about laying the groundwork to hopefully have more of a ripple effect. So I'm not making a ton of money, especially, choosing to do a USA-based printer and all of my upgrades, and putting a lot of it back in the book. I am going to do a little bit more of a healthy shipment. So I'm going to order 3,000 books, which is a lot. So wish me luck. Hopefully I'll continue to sell them. But that's essentially going to be all of this. Like, this isn't going to go to my pocket. This is just going to go to my book and hopefully spreading, more of the love and the love lottery out there. So the $17 was something that I came up with. I didn't do the best job with shipping, and Lisa, I didn't know how to figure it out, but she told me a lot of people do shipping on the back, which means that you essentially tell them that once you ship it, you'll PayPal them what shipping is, so you're not charging them more or less. But I felt like that was a lot of work, so I know that I didn't do shipping excellent. So don't follow my shipping advice, because I think it's going to cost me a lot more money to ship it out to people than I was thinking.
Joy is asking, who created your products?
Yeah, so I have that in my list that I'll send out to you, but the little panda was from David Doe at Got a Toy. And I did a little prototype from him, and he ships you out the prototype. So I was able to take a picture and show what the finished product would be, but they actually haven't even arrived to me yet. They're on the water right now coming from China. But I'll send you all that information. I'll send you guys my USA printer information, even though it is more expensive than China, but to me, I felt like it was worth it for the Kickstarter.
Yeah, I'd be interested in getting that because I've been compiling a list of printers and getting quotes for a number of common sizes that our group is printing it or is producing their books in. And I think you use somebody different than I have. I probably have 4 or 5 different printers I'm getting quotes for, but I'd like to follow up and see how yours compares in price as well.
For sure. So the book with the panda doll, you know, I knew what the panda was going to cost me, Laura. So I kind of committed to a big shipment. I'm doing 1,000 panda dolls. So I was able to do a $30 package by cutting, you know, the price down of just doing a bigger order.
Yeah, makes sense.
Okay.
What are you paying per piece at that for your cost?
With shipping, and granted, I haven't paid, what is it called? There's extra fees that I don't think are going to be outrageous, but I haven't finished, I guess, paying the landed cost. But right now they're about $2.60 a piece.
Okay.
For my panda.
So Leigha, kind of piggybacking on what Laura was asking. So did you have, I know you have to have a lot outlined before you launch on your price, but before you launched, did you already have like those 1,000 pandas built into your price, or was that something that whenever you knew how much you made, you were like, oh, well, I could actually get more pandas, and or was that those 1,000, had you decided that before launching and have that built into your goal?
Yeah, I already committed to my 1,000 pandas. And part of it, like, even if my Kickstarter was a flop, I still wanted to bring this book. So,
Yeah.
you know, little boutiques or maybe a gift shop or a hospital. And, you know, guys, there's a lot of competition out there. There's a lot of books. There's a lot of good books. And to me, I kind of try to look at something in the whole marketing aspect. Like, what's going to separate your book from all the other million amazing books out there? And I felt like my in to a boutique or a bookstore was to give this adorable little package. So I felt like the panda, even though it is an extra added expense, is only going to help me get into the stores and the boutiques to offer that cute little package, something different than what so many other books are offering, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
And then I don't know if you guys saw my cute little mini companion book, but this came to me like during my campaign. I was like, oh my gosh, what if I used my same illustrations and came up with a different story made for the kid to share with their panda? Because the love lottery is really intended for the parent to share to their child. And so I kind of made a whole inclusive package, and I'm going through a different printer for my mini books. So I'll send you guys that information too. But they're going to be just about like $1 a book for a perfect bound 3-inch by 3-inch soft cover.
3-inch by 3-inch, so really little.
I thought it was so cute. I don't know.
That's so cute. Yeah.
How cute would it be for like this little panda with this little book?
So cute.
And then the pens, I'm doing these little enamel pens, and those are from Wizard Pens. And I actually get them delivered tomorrow. But I wish that I would have done some of this research ahead of time. Like my mini companion book and my Wizard pens were super last minute creative offerings by my noggin. So I don't know. I feel like if you guys can kind of come up with this stuff ahead of time, it would save you some work. I was like staying up till 2 a.m. trying to make all this come together before my campaign ended. So this $35 pledge is actually the one that I make the most money on, because my shipping is going to be the least amount, and I'm selling 2 books. So with this, I tried to kind of highlight it. I think I moved so much stuff around, guys, as I was going on with my campaign. Your story is live, so you can modify and adjust this even when your campaign's live and delete things. So during my campaign, I had like a huge buy now button with my $35 pledge, just because to me, it was going to make me the most money and be helpful to my bottom line. But I felt like that was a really good package. I really did. I tried to add value for all this. I mean, even my $99 package, guys, I gave 4 books, 2 pandas, art, a stamped penny, and a card. So, I mean, when you're thinking about putting these prices together, you know, what would entice you to buy it? You know, I kind of try to sweeten the deal as much as you can.
And I think people will let you know when you're not, you know, if you're off base, because they won't take advantage of it. It'll just sit out there. So you can, I think in some ways it's okay to experiment a little as the campaign goes on, like you did, Leigha.
Yeah, and you can always add additional packages. Now, once somebody buys something, you can't modify anything.
Mm-hmm.
But like this $40 package was something I added later with the little enamel pen, the mini book, the panda, and the book.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I ended up, you know, getting 10 backers, and it was something that, you know, I don't think I added until like a week and a half before my campaign was over. The reviews, guys, I really think helped me. This was April's push again. You know, April was like, go ahead, submit your book to Reader's Favorite. And I got an amazing review. It cost me like $45, right? I think 45 or.
It was, yeah, 50, I think, or 59, something like
yeah.
that.
But I was able to, you know, say it was an award-winning book, which was real. You know, I really did get a 5-star Reader's Favorite, and it really helped with my advertising efforts. Again, I kind of did something out of the norm where I offered my ebook before I went live. And so when you're doing a Kickstarter, if you offer anything, you cannot include it in your rewards. So a lot of people use an ebook as a reward, but that means you cannot publish it prior. So my way around that is I ended up offering a video book as a reward rather than an ebook. But, you know, getting reviews, and April has amazing tools to kind of, you know, get more downloads, and the more downloads, hopefully the more reviews you'll get. But I was able to, you know, put some of the reviews up there and on my website of what real people had already said about my book, which I really do think it was to my advantage.
I agree.
I don't know. And I went back and forth on this, April. Do you remember me doing like,
yeah.
I don't know, should I publish it ahead of time?
Yeah.
So
I have a question, Leigha.
Yeah.
Or Leigha, sorry. When you're determining what you're asking for money for, because I've seen a lot of Kickstarters where they're asking for money for the Illustrator, or they're asking for money for printing. What is the norm? Like, because like even for like April's course, you can't say I need more money to attend a course about how to self-publish my book. What is the standard? Like, what are the standards to which it's acceptable to say, and this is what I need money for, aside from printing?
I mean, I think everybody's story is different. I've seen a Kickstarter before where they've literally done one sample illustration. So they haven't even made the book yet. And they're like, we're literally raising funds to pay for the illustrator to make this book come to life. And that was true to their story. And I don't know if the book would have come to life if they didn't, you know, do a Kickstarter. So I think it varies for everybody. You know, I put on here my expenses, and I just kind of kept it simple. You know, like packaging and shipping, my Kickstarter, I did include my illustrations. And
So
then
you can include things you've already done, because your illustrations were already done at that time. So you can include that?
yeah.
Okay. Because that's my question, because I know, like, I'm at the point where the only thing I need to spend money for is printing and marketing.
Mhm.
And I'm wondering, how much can I get? There's a limit to how much you can spend on those. And so does that mean I can't get any of the money that I've spent already back? Can I only ask for the money that I need going forward?
No,
Is
you
what
you can reimburse, you can reimburse yourself for the illustrations that you've paid. For sure. I mean, you don't have to, I mean, even I'm just putting this up there as like a sample. Nobody really holds you accountable. If you took, an extra course and used some of your money to pay for it, you're not going to get in trouble.
okay, okay, thank you.
Yeah, however you raise your funds is fine. I just feel like people kind of want to know what the money
Yeah.
is going for. So this gives them an idea, and it is expensive to do a book. It is expensive to pay for illustrations. So to me, this was just kind of a way to educate people that have no idea and don't publish a book. You're speaking to an audience that's just not familiar with like all these additional costs that are in the background. But my I was actually going to do a $7,000 campaign, and I ended up lowering it because I still wanted to do a Kickstarter, but I was so worried about this pandemic. So I lowered it to the 4747 just so I felt like it was still a number that I could, reach.
So, Leigha, I'm glad she asked about that because I had wondered in the little pie chart, the panda bear isn't on there, but you did include it in your funds, correct?
Yeah, well, like, so in my 7,000, my original 7,000 goal, the panda was included, but I really chopped a lot off just to.
So if you only made the lower goal, you were just gonna take the panda yourself, just like take that cost.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's only going to cover like a China print run as well. As
Right.
I reached my stretch goals and I got more money, I was able to do like the USA based printing. And I mean, truly, some of the funds I raised really did help me do the upgrades.
Yeah.
Weren't even going to be an option. So,
Mhm.
I mean, this is just an idea. I don't feel like it's anything in concrete. I don't know, does that help? Do you guys have more questions or?
So there were some
I
questions
have one about King
all or
Sumo
nothing.
mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Can that be used in course for your launch to have giveaways to help kind of promote your book launching, or is it just for Kickstarter?
No, King Sumo, I don't use for anything. And it makes it really easy to share. I don't know if I have a live King Sumo link anymore.
Yeah, I do it for giveaways, and it's really helpful. Usually we pull together a bunch of authors and we do a giveaway of some sort, and we're getting a bunch of extra emails. So you took those extra emails, Leigha, and did you do something with the emails that you got from King Sumo as well?
Yeah, I went ahead and followed up with them and sent out an email from Mailer Lite.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think what really worked for Leigha, kind of following her journey, is Leigha, as you could see on the video and as you can hear with her sharing her words, she was her authentic self. She believed and she had passion about this project. She shared that really well, and she tapped into that emotional connection with people. And, also has built up a much bigger following over a period of a year. So this didn't happen overnight for her. It takes time. You need to have a good following. And if you look at Lisa Furlan's tools that that Leigha was talking about. Lisa Furland is a crowdfunding expert. She is amazing. And I did post in our Facebook group a link to Lisa talking to us about crowdfunding and some of the tools and free. She has a number of free things she offers. But one of the tools in the vault I remember has to do with knowing how many people you're going to need to back you in order to meet your campaign goal. And that means you need to have that many followers and then some, right? So it kind of gives you a way to back into the numbers. And I remember when I launched my first campaign, I only did the campaign once. When I launched mine, I was brand new as an author. I had almost no following whatsoever. So I did a good job setting it up. I did a terrible job with my video, but I learned something through it, and I didn't meet my goal. Now, if I was to do it again, I've got a much bigger network now and have helped a lot of people. So I think a lot of people would help me to raise the funds and to share. But it does take time. It's not something that can happen overnight, and it's a lot of preparation. It's as much work as creating your book to get to the point where you can have a successful launch like Leigha had.
Yeah, it's a lot. And I'll send you guys that little random sheet, thing that I put together. And if anybody has any questions or something that they want to know, let me know. I'm happy to put something together. But everybody's journey really is different. Everybody is going to have, different things to focus on. These are just the things that worked for me. But you guys might come up with something that's even better. So,
Leigha, I have 2 more questions.
Yeah.
I'm just wondering, because I heard you mention that you started in November. I wonder if I'm looking to publish by like August, if a Kickstarter is too late for me. I haven't even created an account or looked into Lisa's course, or I'm just going to start this weekend. But at the back of my mind, I wonder if I need more time to do it properly. And if I've waited this long, if it's a bit too late to do Kickstarter to meet my goals. I may have to, if I do a Kickstarter, do I have to push my launch date further?
I mean, it just depends. You can make it whatever you want. I mean, you can honestly even do like $1,000 goal and, work with the audience that you have. You still have to, everything you have to do for a Kickstarter, you should be doing for your book anyways. I really do believe in that. So I don't think it's a bad thing just to prepare like you are going to do a Kickstarter. And then when you get close to it, you can decide if you want to or not. But all the stuff that you would do for a Kickstarter is exactly what you would want to do to launch your book. Okay. So it's not wasted effort. And then you can decide at that point if you want to delay it or, my book's done. I did this to truly raise funds for printing.
The other
Hey, Leigha, I have a quick question. You did such a great job. Would you do it again? If you were to write another book, would you do it again, all over again? Do you think? You would? Okay.
Yeah. I think it's funny how things work sometimes. And I think, we're all essentially our own business, right? Like we work for ourselves. We're doing everything ourselves. We're hiring the work. We're putting in all the effort. And I feel like it's really exciting for, a Kickstarter because it makes you accountable. It makes you push beyond what you're comfortable with. Let people know what you're doing. I don't know if I would have done the same work if I wasn't on Kickstarter, because it's so much easier to say, I'll let them know later, or they'll probably get the book when it comes in. Like Kickstarter made me uncomfortable enough to push past all that because I had a deadline. if that
Right.
makes sense. So it kind of helped me be a better entrepreneur in my own efforts and my own ability. So I would totally do it again because I felt like it helped me reach a different goal.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And I will just add to someone that had just asked the previous question, asked about, you know, do you wait and not launch or do a Kickstarter first? If you want to release your book and take advantage of this holiday season, you can still release with print on demand and make your Kickstarter all about raising money to do these really beautiful hardcovers, you know, because it can serve kind of as like pre-orders, and driving people to the Kickstarter isn't going to necessarily take away from what you're doing with your sales, I don't think. Although I would definitely recommend reaching out to Lisa Furland, who is, like I said, the go-to person that I would always reach out to with questions on crowdfunding. She does have a Facebook group that you can be a part of, like Leigha was mentioning, and she has a free course and some additional tools you can pay for. So she's a wealth of information, as is Leigha and others who've been through the successful campaigns. It's kind of like birthing a baby. It does. And oh, by the way, Leigha, I was going to ask you, how long did you run your campaign for? Because you can choose different lengths of time.
Yeah,
What was your research into that?
I did 27 days. They say that on average, anything less than 30 days is like the best.
Yeah.
But there's people doing it in 2 weeks.
Yeah, I saw that. I've seen that as another kind of trend, because I think the thinking there is that you get a bunch of immediate backers, and then at the end, before it closes, you get a bunch of people there. But if you're not doing a bunch of things in the middle, it can be a very big lull in between.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's why people try to shrink it, so that they don't have as much of quiet time in the middle that they're going to be driving themselves crazy.
Yeah. But I mean, I think I would drive myself nuts if I did a 60-day campaign.
Yeah.
It would be exhausting, you know, so doing it and going through it is a lot of work. It really, truly is, but it's worth it. And I would definitely do it under 30 days.
Right. So we've had a lot of great information, and I know we went over what our typical time would be. Does anybody have any final questions before we get going? And I'm sure that Leigha will be, you know, available and able to get back with anything additional that comes from others that didn't attend. Leigha, we'll try to connect you. You're on our Facebook group as well, right, Leigha?
Yeah.
Yeah. So if people tag you in questions on the Facebook group, you'll be able to reply. Okay.
I do have one really quick question. I know it was a little bit unconventional that you launched your ebook first, but I know you said that you thought the reviews really helped you. How much earlier did you launch your ebook before your campaign?
I think it was like 3 weeks.
2 weeks, you said?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
And remember that this community of authors, like we just got together with like 28 wonderful authors, all here supporting one another. If we can get together and do that for each other, if there's a free download of a book that is like Leigha launched her book, and each one of us grabs it and reviews it for her, what an amazing start to have, 20 something reviews right off the bat. And this is only a small portion of people that are, that have attended the work groups that I put together. So my goal is to really get to the point where this group can be a real launching pad for new books that are going out there. So let's do that for Stella. Let's do that for those that are launching their books. Let's go back and grab those free books. Let's, if you want the book for your grandchild or your child, grab it. Let's really support each other and see what we can do with the power of this amazing community that we're building.
I love that, April. Leigha, is your book on KU?
No.
Okay, I'll look it up then. And then I missed Stella's because I came in late.
Yep.
Is
So
Stella still
Stella,
here?
yeah, Stella is here. She,
Yeah, I'm still here.
yeah.
I'm
What was
still
the
here.
name? Is your book on KU? Are you offering a free book?
I'm sorry, sweetie, repeat that again.
I missed the title of your book. And
Oh,
so I just wanted to know if it was on KU or is it, and what the title of it was.
it's a classic. It's The Emperor's New Clothes. And it's, of course, I didn't write that. It's written by Hans Christian Andersen. But it was a project for me and to teach myself how to illustrate the children's book.
Awesome.
So I did all the illustrations.
Yeah, and
Oh,
we did enroll it in Kindle Unlimited, and she, as soon as it goes live so that we actually see it on Amazon. So I was there with her and I got the honor of clicking publish for her today as we walked through that process together. So it probably will be 24 to 48 hours before we see it on Amazon. And as soon as it's up there, I'll be glad to share it in the group.
awesome.
Thanks for asking, Serena.
Of
Thanks
course,
for asking.
congratulations.
Oh, thank you. Couldn't have done it without April. I have to say that. So, and if I would have tried to, I'd still be trying to do it for another 2 years.
Well, you did an amazing job, Stella. It's gorgeous.
Thank you. Thank you.
Awesome. Well, ladies, I am going to sign off for now, and I will be in the group posting some things. I've got a lot to share between print quotes and pulling together and interviewing people for personal assistance and graphic design and web design and all of that stuff. So if you keep an eye on the group, I'll be posting a lot of great information. I think I'm going to have at least 6 or 7 resources that are going to be available to help the authors in this group. And I'll just post like hourly fees for these people. I'm going to negotiate lower hourly fees for the type of work that we're doing. And I'm also going to try to negotiate some, free samples or have them show us something and kind of work through some of that. So keep your eyes peeled for that information, and we'll be back together on Tuesday. So take care, everyone. If you have not already scheduled time with me, please do go into my calendar and grab the free coaching for work group participants so I can make sure to help move you forward. And if you're stuck, reach out and let me know, even if it's just on Facebook Messenger, and I will make sure to make some time so that we can start moving things forward for you. Okay? Don't be quiet. Quiet people don't get any attention. And sometimes I go through and I think, who did I not hear from? And I kind of scroll the member list and I just reach out. But sometimes I get so busy that it's hard to keep up with everyone. So take care and keep supporting each other. This has been an amazing group.
It is.
Bye, everybody.
Thank you, April. Thank you, Leigha. Thanks, everyone. Good night.
Bye, girls.
Thanks,